Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I've got a build for using the new exotic SMG, the Oxpecker, in Year 6 Season 3 that I've just unlocked, and I've started using it. It's pretty decent. It's interesting, to say the least. And I've made a build with some nice survivability and a load of damage. And this video, when you're watching the gameplay, this is without the modifiers, because I know a lot of people don't like modifiers. But just let me know in the comments if you want me to make a build video with modifiers active. I've done it without because a lot of people prefer without modifiers. And this is just showing you the raw gameplay and the raw damage that you can deal with this build, because it don't add all the bonuses from modifiers that you can get, like overcharge for example. So yeah, load of survivability, load of damage. And if you like my content guys, like and subscribe, and let's get straight into this build video. So the first piece of gear we have is the striker mask. 2 pieces 15% weapon handling, 3 pieces 15% rate of fire, and then 4 piece is weapon hits increase weapon damage by 0.65%, stacking up to 100 times. And if you don't get stacks over time, it just decays down. So core attribute is a red, 15% weapon damage, attributes are 12% critical damage, and the mod is 12% critical damage as well. The second piece of striker is the gloves. We have a red, and we have 12% critical damage as well. Third piece of striker is the knee pads. We're running a red core and 12% critical damage. And our final piece of striker is the holster, which is a red core as well, 12% critical damage. So backpack I'm using is a Grupo Sombra backpack, which gives us another 13% critical damage. We have a red core, 6% critical hit chance, 12% critical hit damage, and the mod is 12% critical hit damage as well. And the survivability you have with this build is pretty good. So we have Bloodsucker, killing an enemy adds and refreshes a stack of 10% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Max stack is 10, so 100% bonus armor, which is not very hard to get 10 kills in a row with this build. It's pretty easy. Striker's like just ridiculously overpowered and the best like gear set in the whole game. So yeah, you've got quite a bit of survivability with this build as well. So chest piece I got, this is pretty hard to farm. You don't have to use this chest piece if you don't want to. You could use Sokolov for SMG damage. This is completely up to you, but this is how I ran it for more survivability. So I had to farm for Palisade Steelworks, the chest piece, because that gives us 10% armor on kill. So this build will give us 20% armor on kill because we're using Gunner, which gives you 10% armor on kill as well, Specialization. So you get 20% armor on kill, which is pretty nice as well. We have a red core, attributes is stats effects and critical hit chance. But if you're trying to get this chest piece, it is actually pretty hard to get because it's like 1 in a million chance to get it. We have the mod is 12% critical damage as well. And the talent I'm using is Intimidate. While you have bonus armor, gain 1 stack each second up to the max of 9. Each stack increases weapon damage by 4% to enemies within 10 meters. All stacks are lost when your bonus armor is gone. So yeah, the stacks to 9 goes up in about 3 seconds, which is really quick. And what procs and activates Intimidate is your Bloodsucker on your backpack. So when you get a kill, you'll always have bonus armor, so you'll always have Intimidate. It's pretty good, it is. Or you could use Adrenaline Rush, but not as much survivability. I reckon that's more for like tank builds or PvP. So now we're at the Oxpecker guys, the SMG. So I've got it at Proficient, and I've not got modifiers on, and I've not got expertise. So the gameplay you're seeing, me using this weapon, and I don't have expertise on it. So if you put expertise on it, you'll do more damage and you'll get more healing for the shield, because it depends on how much damage you deal. So core attribute is 15% SMG damage, 21% critical chance, and 10% damage targets out of cover. And the talent is Symbiosis. While having the shield deployed, lose shield health at a rate of 10% per second. Your shield receives repairs of 25% of the damage dealt by this weapon. So all the damage you get from the crit chance and crit damage you have with this build, and the striker Intimidate, you'll get loads of healing with it, which is pretty nice. But the only thing is, there's a pros and cons with this. Because you're tier 6, your shield is actually really weak, so you've got to play quite passively with it. You can't just run in and take the whole like room unless you're like a professional gamer like, but I'm not. And yeah, it's pretty decent. But one thing you should know about this is that regardless if you stack into like shield health with bulwark or named holster, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called the Forge. It'll just have 10% per second, so it doesn't matter how much health you have on your shield. But yeah, the mods on it are up the mod range, critical hit chance, and 10 rounds. Which with the Oxpecker you get 50 rounds in a mag, which is nice. I do think it's still not enough. You can make builds with more ammo in your mag. But yeah, your reload is too long and your shield's gone by then. So the secondary I've got, this is for stacking your striker stacks, like instantly in like 2 shots, 3 shots. So it's the ACS-12. My shotgun is actually expertise 20. Shotgun damage, damage to armor, damage to target out cover. And I have the talent brazen. Receive 3.5% amplified damage on the next shot with the weapon for each pellet that hits the target. If at least 6 pellets hit. It's actually a ridiculous talent. This you get a stupid amount of damage, especially on like an M870 or a Super 90 shotgun. But this is just for stacking, guys. Just keep that in mind. This is for stacking. It's not for like using. So we have just crit chance mods, so the chance is higher with the shotgun. Then the sidearm I'm using is the Orbit. The reason I'm using this is because you get more crit chance and crit damage. So the more damage you do, the more healing you receive on the Oxpecker. So the only way to get this pistol is either conflict or named caches and the dark zone. You can't get it any other way. Just keep that in mind as well. So we have 15% pistol damage, 10% damage to targets out of cover. And the talent is Perfect Finisher. Swapping from this weapon within 10 seconds of killing an enemy grants 35% critical hit chance and 40% critical hit damage for 15 seconds, which that is actually a really nice chunk of damage that you can get if you're good at like swapping to your sidearm, getting a kill and swapping back to the Oxpecker. It's pretty nice. Nice chunk of a repair for your shield. And the first skill I'm using is just the Crusader with tier 0. Because we don't have skill tiers, we're all 6 reds. And the second skill I'm using is just a Reviver Hive. You can actually use whatever you want. A decoy I'd recommend. So this is the overall build, just a quick breakdown for you if you don't want to watch the whole video. So we have 4-piece striker, all crit damage on them. We have a Grupo backpack with crit damage and Bloodsucker. And we have a Palisade chest piece with 10% armor on kill. And we get 10% from the gunner specialization, so that's 20% armor on kill. While you have bonus armor, so you'll always have like good survivability with this build. Oxpecker, we have an ACS-12 for the stacks for striker, and we have the Orbit for extra damage when you can. Which yeah, it's pretty good. So the stats for this build is 56.3% critical hit chance. You can get that to 60 if you get chance on the chest. And we have 154% critical hit damage, which is nice for an SMG build. And then the shotgun's at 30% chance, 154 crit damage. Same with the pistol, 25% critical hit chance and 154% critical hit damage. And I'll just scroll down the rest for you now. So the specialization I'm using is the gunner. The gunner here. So you just click on that. So only reason I'm using this basically is just the 10% armor on kill. And another reason is you get rate of fire increases by 5% on kill for 5 seconds, which is nice. It's always nice to get more rate of fire. And we have 15% SMG damage, 15% pistol damage, and shotgun damage. That's the only reason I'm using it. Maybe for foam grenades, but I don't really throw grenades, only in legendary, really. But that's the build. You get good survivability, you get loads and loads of damage, and you basically have a invincible shield. So I've made this video without modifiers active, but if you do have modifiers active, you'll always have overcharge, so your shield's always invulnerable regardless. So it is pretty decent, this build. Let me know in the comments what type of build you're running with your Oxpecker, or what you think of this one. But thanks for watching, guys, and happy hunting.
Protect that stockpile. Dutch conscious. I need you to see to it personally. On it!
Get that stockpile, Agent. Everything you take from them is something they can't send to Keener.
Fuckers are in Keener's supplies. I don't care what it takes. Take them out!
Racing to the stockpile now.
Hostiles approaching. Hostiles incoming. Hostiles approaching.
This jackass is...
Hostiles drawing near. Hostiles incoming.
Let's get them, boys. Time to put these fuckers down.